What you getting at with the book script? Spit that shit out, man!
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do. Good.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Oh my God, I did not think he was going to do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to another episode of Two Brothers. Thank you guys for joining us for tonight's episode. Before we get too deep into it, we want to give you a fair warning. We will be spoiling. We'll be spoiling Silent Hill 2 Remake on this episode. So if you haven't played it yet, we implore that you go and play that game before you listen to this episode. Just a fair warning, will be heavy spoilers. We'll be dissecting this game as well as reviewing it. That being said, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate your support. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We've gotten a lot of views. We got 157 views on the Halloween versus Scream episode, which that's really cool. Really appreciate that. I know a lot of people was like, that's only, what are you talking about? Just in triple digits. But that's, if you've seen our numbers, you know that's quite impressive.
Let
so
them
we
know.
Appreciate it. we got to keep it real. We're going to keep it 100% with them, okay? So thank you guys. We appreciate it. Follow us on our social medias on Instagram. It's called Two Brothers, as well as TikTok. I'm doing
Is it that or is it Two Bros? Because you keep fucking switching it up here.
Oh my God. That's right. It's called Two Bros. Thank you for the correction. It's called Two Bros on Instagram and on TikTok. So thank you for clarifying that. That one's on me. Okay.
Hold on.
So what?
Yeah, I think you were saying it all this time wrong.
No, I have not. This is the only time.
Nope.
This is the only time I've been doing that.
I feel like I corrected your ass the last time.
You haven't.
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Are we really going to go into semantics about whether you've corrected me in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, dude. That's regardless. We still, okay? Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. We're going back to basics with this one. We have no Josh. We have no Eric or Maurice on this. It's just me and Edgar. And we're going to talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake, which is...
my heavy breathing, too.
You're doing so great, dude. You were doing so great, and then you had a fucking break.
Yeah.
You have to start breathing into the mic. Actually, I think I breathe also in the mic, so it's not...
Yeah, don't...
Just a you issue, but still. Anyways, but look, Josh's taking a little break from the podcast, and that's okay, because we devised a way to get him onto the podcast in spirit. So just for future episodes where he's not going to be on, we have devised a little soundboard that will have Josh be a part of the conversation. But this time we get to control what he says, so that's going to be fun. And I know that Josh right now, he's probably thinking to himself,
Seriously?
And yeah, it is seriously. You are part of the podcast, Josh, and there's more where that came from. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake. But before we jump into the review, Eric, go ahead, okay? Because I know that you've been waiting to fucking. But go ahead.
Yeah,
you have some thoughts. You have some things to say. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right. Again, let me talk to you right here. It's kind of weird because, again, I was going to tell you, let me talk first here. I have some things to say.
Yeah, no, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Since they debuted the first trailer for Silent Hill 2, you and the whole gaming community were shitting on it because they didn't show any gameplay. They didn't show this or that. You guys were complaining how he opened the door. And what did I say? I said, Albert, I have a gut feeling this is going to turn out pretty good. It's going to turn out pretty well. And you guys are going to fucking eat your words. And what happened? Leading up to it, the first impressions of the game, people were saying, oh shit, this is good. This is good. This is great. Then everyone turned around and said, yeah, this is good, guys. I was the number one supporter from the beginning. I had faith in Blooper Team.
It's actually Bloober Team, so get that one right.
Yeah. Okay.
You done?
No.
Is that okay? Keep going then, I guess.
Because every other trailer they dropped, you're that's not right. That's not correct. Fucking Keanu Reeves over here. And I kept saying, just give it time. Just because they don't want to show anything, they don't want to like spoil whatever the case was. I'm just telling you, give it a chance. Just wait. Okay? It's just for you guys to listen. When they show a first impression or first trailer, don't jump the fucking gun and criticize the fucking game before you even see gameplay or actual first impressions. Okay, guys? Am I right? Since the get-go, I was the fucking number one saying it's going to be good. It's going to be great.
Yeah, you were right, Edgar. You were right, and I was completely wrong. Completely wrong, and I feel embarrassed because those episodes where I talked negatively about it is
I think
out
it might
there.
be in the episodes too.
It's out there, and I'm not gonna those were my thoughts at the time, and I said this off the podcast. You can't blame people for being overly critical when Bloober Team has made some pretty not so great games in the past, and being handed Silent Hill 2. You just have to come on.
In my opinion,
You have to give me that at least.
No, but that's your opinion. My opinion is that they made decent games. Yeah, not great. They were okay. Okay.
Yeah, but still, okay. And also with the track record of Konami, a lot of people were kind of like still bitter over PT and their practices with what they were doing with games. Like, all I'm saying is, were we overly critical? Yes. Was I overly critical? Of course, 100%.
Was I right?
But it didn't come from a complete place of like hate for Bloober Team. This is Silent Hill 2 we're talking about, okay? This is a game that's been revered by the gaming community for fucking ages. I've said this to myself a lot of times, but before the Silent Hill 2 remake came out, if you on any given day on the week, if you search up on YouTube Silent Hill 2, a new fucking video of it about a retrospective, an analysis video always pops up. It's still being talked about to this day. That's how much people love this game. So obviously, a remake is something that people were skeptical about from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I apologize for being overly critical. I was being a little shithead. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I agree, and I was 100% proven wrong. As some of you are already kind of getting an idea of what we think of Silent Hill 2 remake. This game is exceeded everyone's expectations and then some. This game is great. Edgar got done finishing this game before we recorded, so his thoughts on it are fresh. I'm playing through a third playthrough of it. That should tell you everything you need to know so far about what I think of Silent Hill 2 remake.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, let's actually get into the weeds of this. Let's get into talking about Silent Hill 2.
What? We're going to talk about the review, or how we're going to start this?
Well, I mean, where do you want to start this? I mean, you said you were the number one fucking supporter of this remake. You tell us where you want to talk about.
Also, I'm going to talk with you. You're going to shut the hell up?
No, I'm still going to talk because this whole time that you've been playing through the game, you've been fucking saying, like, did this happen in the original? Did this happen in the... So, I'm still going to be talking on this episode, okay? This is still going to be a fucking... a review of what I think of the game, okay?
Is this like football?
No, this is not... Josh, this is not like football.
God, this fucking guy.
God, man, Jesus. Right,
Thank God he's taking a break.
I agree.
Fucking coming out with dumb shit.
He kind of like... just him saying that is just like... Really? Whatever, dude.
All
okay,
right.
let's get into it. Do you want me to talk about it, and then you want to?
Let's see how you open it, then I'll come in.
All right, no problem. I'll jump in. So, yeah, this game. Let's start off with the presentation, okay? Because that's an easy thing to nail. That was one of the things I was never really concerned about. Silent Hill 2 Remake looks fucking fantastic. Still, to this day, since it's released, I don't think it has gotten a patch for like the frame rates and everything. It still kind of stutters. I know that was like a big thing.
You noticed that then?
Yeah, I noticed that. Everyone noticed that.
Okay, I thought I was the only one. Like
no, that's been a thing. That's like, honestly, that's really technically the only criticism I'll give the game.
No, I got one. You tell me if I'm right on this though. I feel like sometimes when you're trying to open like a drawer or a cabinet, it doesn't really register.
Like the detection.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
No, you're not wrong. I think that's not
that really.
That just everyone has that issue. Mm-hmm. It's like I've gotten better at it with my third playthrough, like on like the rhythm of how to fucking pick things up. But yeah, no, that's been a thing everyone's been having. So
and I only got stuck twice, if that makes sense. Like
I've gotten stuck too in the labyrinth.
So like
in that like house that like that like move that shifts. I get stuck on the like geometry of it.
Yeah.
Other than those like three things, technically the game looks fucking just breathtaking. It looks fucking great. Coming from someone who's played the original, and that opening scene where you're starting off and where the bathroom is and like the whole monologue. Being able to actually be up close and over the shoulder with James' perspective and being able to see everything, going back to visit the bathroom, like I know this is gonna sound weird, but seeing all the angles of the car. There's been a big theory with fans that like Mary's body's in the back of the car, and no one could really confirm it, obviously, because how the camera angle is all pulled back. So just little things like that already off the bat was like, God damn, this game's a fucking looker, dude. And it only gets better as you continue to play it. But so the opening sequence when you're like going into Silent Hill, it sets the fucking mood. What did you think of it when you like booted it up for the first time? You're playing through it. You're going down the fucking into the cemetery, like just. How did you feel about it?
I was really blown away how good it looked at first impressions, you know. And the fog is like the fog is the first thing you like, not what you see, but like it's present and it shows and it like it's. I hate to say, it's like I think it's one of the best fucking fog mechanics I've seen in the game.
You're not wrong, dude. Like this, look, man, we finally got a good Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
Okay. Not since people will say, "Oh, Shattered Memories" or whatever, but like honestly, the last time we had a really good Silent Hill game was 4. That was the last one that Team Silent made. But the last Silent Hill game where there was like fog present was like 3, and really, if you want to go back, maybe 2. So being able to see Silent Hill like with all the fog and everything, like, dude, Bluebird just knocked out of the fucking park.
I really liked how they kind of extended the beginning,
the opening.
Yeah, because they want to kind of after the cemetery in the original, it kind of just jumps to you already going into Silent Hill.
Yeah,
this one has like you could go by like a farm.
It's like an auto shop too,
and then an auto shop, then like not a park, but like you're in the side. You know what I'm talking about?
It's a different kind of path to going into Silent Hill. But it is more extended.
And I think even where you get the pipe, and when you get introduced to that new creature, it's not. It's
the wooden plank.
Yeah, it's there, but like it's not like. How do you say? You expect to go in there.
It subverts your
There you go.
Let me go back real quick.
Go ahead.
The opening sequence, how it starts with the opening cutscene. That was a huge thing that people were criticizing it in the first trailer, and how when James looking at himself in the mirror, they fucking listen to the fans because it looks way fucking better in the final game. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but like you can see the impression of where he left his ring on his finger. It's like that's a nice little touch. It's a nice little detail. I don't really have much to say about here's one thing I will say about this review. We're not going to dissect every cutscene because we'd be here for like 3 hours. So I'm not going to say too much about like Angela's introduction, all that. That was kind of kept the same, pretty good. But yeah, that opening cutscene set the fucking tone. Akira Yamaoka's score coming in like feeling revitalized. It feels a lot more modern while also staying close to the original. So it was all like, oh shit, this is great. You talked about how it extended the trip to Silent Hill. I like because going to the auto shop is like a minute or two. It's not really that long, but it does teach you like, hey, you can vault over things now. You can unlock doors from the other side, like stuff like that. You know, getting you ready to experience a new version of Silent Hill 2. But when you brought up the old location where you first got the plank, that brings me to my first like big thing about the Silent Hill 2 remake that I told you about when I was playing it, which is the loop theory that a lot of people have been talking about even way before Silent Hill 2 remake. Should we talk about the loop theory right now, or do you want to wait for as we continue talking about the review?
Yeah, let's save it towards the end then. Yeah.
All right. But keep that in mind then, people. If you have played Silent Hill 2, and I know that there's people who listened who have played the original, getting to see that like original spot and how it's subverting your expectations, there's a lot of that later throughout the game. And we'll discuss our theory why that is. What did you think of the first introduction of the combat, where you finally get to meet the line figure?
Yeah, that's what it's called?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different names for it, but yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Did I skip over anything before we get to that, though? Because I know you walked through Silent Hill and...
leading up to like finding the first creatures, like it takes you inside of the neighborhood of Silent Hill, which is nice.
Get
and
the flower shop that
everything.
you never get to explore before.
It makes you feel like you're
in Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, basically.
You're in Silent Hill. Yeah, I agree.
It's just cool, you know.
That was so fucking that was one of the things I was really looking forward to, was like just exploring. This town. It has like a rapture like feeling to it. Like you just entered the town just as everyone got fucking like snapped by Thanos or some shit. Like it feels like it was lived in, but you don't know for how long. It's just so fucking cool. It's eerie, but it feels like, oh man, this is great.
That's what I wanted from the Silent Hill. Give me that. Not the you're scared to go to around the corner or inside of this new building or opening the door. That's what I got when I was playing this game. Even when you get to follow this creature at first, and you're like, where's he taking me? You got to follow it, and it was really. I felt
suspenseful.
Really. So there you go.
Suspenseful, yeah. We had the first introduction to the line figure, and then you pick up the radio and combat. Going back to what I was being critical about, I told you about the combat trailer and how I was like, why they're putting emphasis on the fucking combat? That's not what Silent Hill's about, and blah blah blah, and this and that. But the combat feels fucking good. Let me clarify. It shouldn't feel good to fight these enemies, because I feel purposeful for the original. It was like you want to avoid combat. You don't want to engage in it. It shouldn't feel good. With that being said, god damn, it feels good to actually like swing the plank, and like you can feel the impact when you're fucking hitting these things. And coming from a developer who has literally, there's no fucking combat in any of their other previous games.
Mhm.
This is their first crack at combat. What did you think?
I was surprised how it turned out, because at the time I was playing the HD collection. Yeah, I know, but you can tell the controls were clunky in the second one.
Yeah.
You know, and coming off of that and playing the remake, it feels way much smoother, which I like. And they added a dodge mechanic, which is way helpful in some cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my impression. Like it turned out really good.
It also, like, as you continue to play through the game, and we'll talk about a little bit more about the other enemies in the game, how they redesigned it, but like it still retains the same feeling of like, I don't want to engage in combat. Like, it feels good to, but you kind of don't want to.
No,
you don't
get it.
know what's gonna. It's not like a chore, but it's like, oh fuck, what happens in this exchange? Will I lose bullets? Am I gonna lose my health? And blah blah blah. Like, you're kind of afraid to fight these enemies again. It's kind of impressive. I was impressed by it. But yeah, after the introduction of the first enemy, Silent Hill 2's open up to you. You can pretty much explore wherever you want. It does guide you to where you need to go, and it does it pretty fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not, like the original. It's really easy. You just gotta go pick up a fucking key to go to the apartments. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. In this one, it's like you find the jukebox, and then for the jukebox, you find the record, and then you have to find the button. It's like all these little different things, but it does it really well. It doesn't feel like you're lost the entire game. It's like you're taking your time, you're exploring, but you know what you gotta do. You know?
I feel like I even told you this. Like, I feel like that was the way of telling you, like, this is the first time you get to explore Silent Hill. So
Yeah.
have a crack at it.
Yeah, like go for
You
it.
go for it. Like in the original, yeah, you can go, but it doesn't lead you anywhere.
No.
There's no, like, you can't go inside of the diner in the original, right? The stuff like that. In here, yeah, you can go inside a bookstore or, like you said, the diner.
And
You can get to explore things, you know?
And they've got flavor texts. You know, they got notes you can pick up.
That too, yeah.
Sometimes you'll enter a fucking store only to collect a syringe, but it's being in the fucking store that makes it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just being able to see everything that you had imagined what Silent Hill would look like and shit. And then on repeated playthroughs, what I found cool was, like, when you go visit the record store the second time around, there's a poster that wasn't there before, and when you read the poster, it gives you the instructions of where to go to activate the UFO ending, and it feels seamless. It doesn't feel like it's something that was just tacked on. You go in and you're like, was that poster there before? And then you're like, no, it wasn't. This is new, and that's pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of sweet. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's little things like that kind of change. There's even a store that is not in your first playthrough. It's like locked, but the second time you go in it, and that's where it's like a pet store, and that's where you get the first part for the dog key. You know, it's like, oh damn, that's
pretty fucking.
You know?
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Whereas, like, let's say Resident Evil 1, it's pretty obvious. Like, oh, there's a closet right there. You can't open it. But you know that's a fucking closet to change your costumes. It feels like it sticks out. In this one, it feels like your repeated playthrough you're questioning, like, was that there before? Oh shit, no, it wasn't. It's pretty cool how they implemented that in a way that feels kind of seamless. But yeah, you kind of work your way through exploring Silent Hill. I don't want to miss anything. I'm trying to think, but you do the first puzzle, and there's a new cutscene where so in the original, before you descend into Silent Hill, James talks about their special place and how it's the Rosewater Park, because we looked at the lake and we stared at the water and shit. That wasn't in the remake, in the opening. Instead, it's been changed to when you put on the record into the jukebox, and then it triggers that memory for him, and he's like, oh, it's Rosewater Park, because that's where we looked at the water and stared at it for the whole day. So it's contextualized differently this time, which I thought was pretty cool. You get the key. You go to the apartments. What did you think of when shit started going fucking crazy? The wind starts picking up.
I fucking like that.
Right when you
Once,
get the key.
and
for
I think once you do that whole section of like finding the key, the record store, and all that shit, right? Yeah, I think once you pick up the key, and I noticed I was like, wait, is it changing? Because and all these enemies start coming out too. It's like, oh fuck, it's time for me to go. Like it's telling you to go to,
and it's pushing you to go to where you need to go. It's
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the music intensifies. There's enemies everywhere.
Yeah,
it almost locks you out of exploring.
Yes,
and you're leading yourself back into the apartment, or leading yourself to the apartments. What I like about it is once you go into the apartments, you get that achievement that says like, I think it's like cozy, but something, I don't know.
Well, I never got to experience it.
Because I fucking unlocked it before you did. But you get a trophy for that. Mm-hmm. And I kind of find it ironic that like you're escaping this fucking like gauntlet of enemies in the fog that's kicking up, only to go into a fucking apartment that's like unsettling as shit. But that's kind of comforting, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird.
Is it only me, or there wasn't no sirens? You know, when it
in the entirety of the game?
Mm-hmm.
No, there were sirens in the game when you fight Pyramid Head towards the end of the apartments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, like, that's the whole infants, like the thing, right? Like once it turns night, or like when shit's about to go down, you get to hear the sirens. This one, it was like different, right?
So actually, the whole concept of the sirens and how it changes from night to day was from the original game, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So, and then the movie did it too, and I think the movie made it so that you see the change in the other world. And this one, it feels a lot more like subtle. Mm-hmm. It's not so like intense. It's not like in your face when things change, you know?
No, yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool. I also find it cool how they introduce. I just want to go back real quick. When they introduced the line figure in the distance in the fog, it reminded me a lot of the movie too.
Ah, you know? Yeah.
Where you kind of see it in the fog and shit. Like that's pretty cool. I like that. But anyways. The apartments. What did you think of the apartments?
It was well mapped out in this one. I really enjoyed it because it felt more connected than the original. The original felt like it was disconnected, disjointed somehow, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, because it felt like you were jumping into two apartment buildings, wasn't it? And this one just felt
they're all like one.
Yeah, this one felt all one. You don't not jumping into another one, or you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of enjoyed that too. Like it's like it kind of loops itself around too, as with the original. I just felt like where the fuck am I going? And like that one seemed more confusing than this one because like I said, it felt more connected. It felt like an actual fucking apartment. If that makes sense.
No, I agree. It was going back to the original, the team talked about, I think it was Akira Yamaoka was saying that like silence, using silence as a tool to effectively create suspense and atmosphere. And Bloober fucking also did such a great job. Once you enter the apartments, it's dead fucking quiet. And once you start going up the stairs, going into the second floor, you start hearing shit, and it's like, oh my god, it's like this is fucking pretty spooky shit. And then you get the flashlight, and you're introduced to what I think is the best redesign of the enemies from the second one, which is the mannequin legs. They are way more fucking more of a problem.
Yeah.
In this one than in the original. For context, for people who haven't played Silent Hill 2 original, the line figure is a fucking joke. They're not that scary. Like the only time they become a problem is when they're slithering on the ground. Mannequin legs, they also don't really do much damage. They're a little bit more of a threat, but not really. But in this one, dude, what did you think of the jump scare? First off, before we get into it, it got you, right? Shit fucking got me too.
I was expecting the trailer one, when it's like kind of sitting watching the television and it rolls.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna introduce it.
Uh-huh.
Not with the fucking flashlight.
When you get the flashlight, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And it also, it's telling you up front that like it didn't pick up with the radio. That's your first hint of like, oh shit, this enemy is not.
I noticed that. I noticed that.
That's fucking terrifying. So you're in this apartment that's like, there's little to no light. You're only using your flashlight, and these enemies fucking blend into the background and in the environment. Like
sometimes they do good, sometimes they
dude. I'm being honest. I'm playing like yesterday. I was playing through it. I opened the door and this motherfucker like walked right past me. I was like, I'm seeing you going into the fucking kitchen about to hide. Like, you're not doing a good job. But sometimes it will fucking sneak up on you, dude. Yeah. I'm telling you. And I'm playing right now without, because you get a trophy for not playing with the radio on.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little more
because
unsettled.
You're on the subject with the mannequin legs. I noticed this. I don't know if you noticed it too. It was towards the end. And this fucking thing attacked me, right? Like, surprised me. I killed it, and when I hit it, it sounded like a woman,
a female, right?
Yeah,
no, that was my design. Yeah.
Is that for all of them?
Yeah.
Or is it just some?
Yes. No. Yes. That is intentional. All the enemies, one way or another, are supposed to be like these creations of James's mind and his suppressed like sexual frustration for when Mary was sick. Like the line figures, you can see they got like almost like fucking like boots on, like a fucking woman would wear. The nurses obviously are supposed to look more sexually appealing, and then the mannequin legs, and they sound more like women groaning when you're hitting them and shit. So it's all intentional. And I don't want to get too graphic, but I don't know if you noticed, because I did notice the streamer. Pat, when he was playing it, when you shoot the nurses, they spur out a white liquid.
I didn't know that.
It's not blood; it's white liquid. Why would you think that is? What do you think that white liquid is?
Oh my god!
I'm not saying it's it's maybe no. It's actually that's what the fuck it's supposed to be. And for those who are wondering, you know what that white liquid is, okay? So, but yeah, it's shit like that. It's all intentional. So you're not wrong in thinking that that's how they sounded like.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I noticed about the nurses too that they'll do like sexual like
kind of lewd gestures on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
or is it just me?
No, I mean I can see that too. Yeah.
Okay.
But going back to the apartments, we get that moment again where we meet Pyramid Head through the gate, right? The little like blocked off gates and shit. That was fucking great. What I noticed is on this playthrough, I had my radio off, but when I met Pyramid Head, it's on. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like, did I turn it on by mistake? No, it's off. But in that moment, it was the only time that the radio still picks up Pyramid Head. I was like, oh shit, that's kind of creepy, but cool. There's some new puzzles here too. So I guess that's our introduction into the puzzles as well. Once you fully explore the apartments, going through these rooms and being fucking freaked out by the mannequin legs and shit. Which, by the way, every beat that's in the original is in the remake too. The scream that you hear, the way that he even motions is exactly how he did it in the original. The introduction to Eddie, we'll get to Eddie in a second. That's still basically the same. The puzzles is where I feel like they were vastly improved. They did really good. What did you think of it when you were like? Because you obviously you played the HD collection, you played the 2 in preparation for remake, so you were aware of this puzzle. You're like, oh, they're gonna. I know the solution to this puzzle. Well, what'd you think when you finished it? And it was like, and it fucking like switched, and it continued. The puzzle continued. It didn't just end. Like, what was your? I got fucking goosebumps when that happened. I was like, oh fuck, the puzzle's not over yet.
No, once that happened, you know that meme where Patrick has that fucking board on his head.
Oh, yeah.
That was me after, because I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I did it.
Yeah, no, it keeps
And
going.
Yes, it keeps going at like for like another 3 little like switches or whatever. When I got the first one, I'm like, this is gonna be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But when it switched, I'm like, wait, what?
Yep. And the fucking poem kept going.
Yeah,
and I was
it
like,
kept
what the fuck's
going,
going on?
And I was like, okay, you guys switched it on us.
Yeah, yeah. And I won't get too much about story implications because I don't think I'll do it justice all the way. But even the puzzle has implications with the story that's going on and shit, like foreshadowing, which is really nice. You visit. Well, hold on. Before you visit the other world, you get your real introduction to the pyramid, and then in that cutscene, and you were telling me like, oh, it kind of feels jarring that you walk into this room and didn't notice it until the cutscene triggers and he's in the kitchen and blah blah blah. In my mind, what if he did see him but he just ignored it, as if he wasn't like there? What do you think?
I don't know. It's just that's the only thing that kind of like you said is kind of jarring.
Took you off guard
because you pass by the kitchen to go into the living room to pick up the note or whatever,
the cloth, yeah,
or whatever it is, and he just sits. He's looking at it.
Then
he throws one of the mannequins into the
living
room. It's like, what the? I was just in there. How the fuck did he just reappear?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking like. What if he suppressed it? What if he did actually see him, but
it wasn't
didn't materialize until But that cutscene was,
I think,
universally, because I watch a lot of people who are huge fans of the original. They all said that this was a huge improvement over the original.
I do agree too.
The introduction to Pyramid Head in the original is, James sees it doing this fucking thing to the mannequin legs. It's not really implied what it's doing, but people kind of get an idea that it's, getting his rocks off with one of these creatures. But anyways, he gets into the closet in the original and he shoots Pyramid Head, and the Pyramid Head's like fucking like, he flinches and he makes these weird noises and shit. And it kind of takes away from the mystique of Pyramid Head, seeing him react to the gunshots and shit. But in the remake, James shoots him and nothing. This thing does not even register the fucking bullets. It's almost like he doesn't even see James in the fucking closet. And you were telling me that, like, oh, does he do like some sort of twitching thing? And it's like, I noticed that shit too. Like he starts like grabbing his helmet and it's all weird. Yeah, that was fucking masterfully done. I was kind of scared, like,
you're about to fight him because this is a remake.
Yeah. Anything goes. Kind of.
I was like, "Fuck, dude, don't shoot him." And he's like, "Fucking like." I know it happens in the original, but I was expecting him just to aim it and not shoot it or something. But I was kind of scared and like, oh, dude, don't do it.
Yeah, no, me too.
And no, I liked it because like he just after he gets shot, he just like stands there and like you say, he does a little twitching, whatever. And he just walks away.
He walks away.
And that's it. It's like, okay, that's like kind of...
And then you get into the other apartments and you enter the other version, the other world version of the apartments. And that's where I'm like, okay, the gloves are off. I think Bloober knows what the fuck they're doing. And I'm ready. Like, take me on this fucking ride. What do you think of the other side version of the apartments, like where it's like rotting and like rusted and shit? Which, mind you, that was not in the original.
I know.
This feels more like Silent Hill 1, Otherworld, where it was like hellish looking. What did you think of it when you like entered the other version of the apartments?
I dug it. Really good.
That's it?
It's it.
Oh my god. Well, I'll add more to that then, I guess. You get introductions to new variants of the enemies. The lying figures are more like gross looking, and they explode. There's like vomit or acid and shit when they're killed, which that took me by surprise. That shit.
Me too.
I think that was my first death. That was my only death, I think, because I didn't know what to
nerd.
expect. What do you mean, nerd?
I didn't die.
You said you died like twice or 3 times.
Well, not with the fucking line figure.
Well, still, you probably died from stupid reasons. So
yeah, I had my stupid reasons.
You admit it. Yeah, you're right.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Josh. And but no, you get introductions to that, and mannequin legs don't change. Well, at least not yet. But the Otherworld version, you get Pyramid Head kind of stalking the apartments. Like I told you, you hear him like walking around in the apartments.
Which one's what's scarier, Mr. X or Pyramid Head?
I still say Mr. X because he
Get
chases
the fuck
after you.
out of here, man.
You can't tell me Mr. X is not more terrifying. He actually fucking pursues you. That being said, though, this is a close second. Okay, I'm not joking. Like when there's a moment when you go into the moth room after you're done.
Yes.
You hear him outside of the fucking door, and you walk out and you see the blade marks that he leaves behind.
That's fucking cool.
And I was like, he was just right here, and I'm fucking terrified. And he goes into the room that's supposed to be safe, like a safe room, and it's like, oh shit. I think that's the part that I'm at right now in my third playthrough, and I was like, oh shit, this is my first time playing through it. I was like, this is terrifying. They made Pyramid Head even more terrifying, if that's even possible, you know? But, yeah, you fight Pyramid Head. Am I missing anything first off?
No, but hold on. Well, you say you're going to talk about Eddie, but...
oh shit, I missed Eddie. Yeah, that's
but
right.
Are we going to do the whole fucking game here?
Or, well, hold on. Well, now let's talk about structure. What should we talk about the whole thing? Or at this point, should we veer off and just talk about what we enjoyed?
Feels like you're going beat by beat, man. We're going to be here
No,
all
I
day.
just want to set up. I was going to
Oh.
stop after the apartments. I just want to give people a sense of what they were going to expect. But
Well, first, you forgot to talk about Eddie.
yeah, well, Eddie, another character that's in Silent Hill. At first, you don't know why he's in Silent Hill. I don't think he even was supposed to be in Silent Hill. He just ran there. But for people who are unfamiliar, these characters, besides James Sunderland, are in Silent Hill for a particular reason. Angela is looking for her mother, and she says she's also maybe looking for her brother and her father too, but she doesn't know if they're there. She's a strange character. She's a teenager that you can't really, like, she seems kind of off, kind of bizarre. In the original, she's very fucking, like, you can tell she's about to lose her shit. Eddie ran to Silent Hill after he shot, I believe,
A
a
dog?
football player.
Oh, I thought it was a
He
dog.
hasn't mentioned the dog yet until the end.
Oh, okay.
That he shot a football player in the leg, and he goes to Silent Hill because the cops, quote unquote, were chasing after him. That's what he tells Laura.
You shot him in the leg.
He shot him. They shot him in the knee, I think he said. But,
Sorry, just reminded me of Dave Chappelle.
oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
When you want this money?
Yeah.
You got to shoot me.
He
Okay.
shoots him. Okay.
I imagine that's how it went down.
But yeah, so Eddie, so you go into this room and you see this body in the fridge that's all fucking like mangled and been killed. The implication is that Eddie killed this person, because I think the body is supposed to be the football player that he shot in the leg.
Is this like football?
Can you, Josh? Jesus Christ, dude, come on!
This fucking guy.
This is nothing like you. We've been recording for 43 minutes. You still think this is about football? Come on, dude. Jesus Christ.
I was exposed to a lot of dicks, you know.
Okay, all right. We don't need to hear your fucking
Life story,
Jesus,
dude. Jeez.
dude.
We're talking
God
about Silent
damn.
Hill.
Is that what happened to you in Silent Hill,
God.
or what? All right, you know what? Let's just move on. But anyways, the implication is that the body in the fridge is
the football player. So it's not.
We don't know who it is, but that's the implication. I'm like Dennis, like, the implication. But anyways, you meet Eddie, and he immediately just fucking straight out denies, like, "Oh, I didn't kill him. I didn't know." And they're like, "All right, that you're pretty sus for saying that. I wasn't even going to ask you about that, but you brought that shit up."
Does he say that in the original?
In the original too.
Okay.
He like flat out just
Denies it.
denies it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who I didn't kill him. I don't know. And yeah, Eddie's he's a psychopath.
He's more. How do you say? Not the word's not. Fuck it. He's more disturbing
He is
in this one than
he
than
is
the
because-
original.
He is because it doesn't. How can I say it? Like in Silent Hill 2, they did the thing with the eye, and you can tell something's off about this guy because he has like a slight little lazy eye and shit, blah blah blah, and this and that. In this one, it feels weird because like you know something's off about him, but he's acting so fucking like normal and innocent. But you
At
know
first.
at first.
You know, you were telling me, it's like, did you notice that his breath is cold?
Yeah, his breath was cold. Yes.
And James is normal. It's like, yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah, right. And the
What's the implication on that?
the implication?
Yeah.
The theory of that is that so everyone that goes into Silent Hill, you have James, right? His other world is rotting and it's decaying, which kind of feels a lot more like Mary's disease, where she ends up decaying and dying a slow death. Angela's is fire. Because she burned down the apartment building that she lived in after she killed her father.
Okay.
Or maybe her whole fucking family. I'm not sure. But that's why she sees fire. And Eddie is because he ends up dying in a fucking frozen meat locker. And
I know, but before that, like his version, like cold.
Yeah, his version is much more cold.
Which makes sense because he's a heartless motherfucker.
But maybe, yeah.
No, because I don't want to spoil it, but towards the end,
go ahead.
he kind of he says that that he enjoys what he did.
Enjoys it. He's heartless.
Yeah,
Cold.
There you go.
And
No,
no,
shut
go
up. Shut up.
ahead. Shut your face. Shut your face.
No, like the like you said, this one. I was saying, this one's more disturbing because the second time you meet him, I think, is in the theater, right? Or no? Well, the theater one is it stamps that he's fucking unstable and he's fucking like cuckoo. He's eating fucking a bucket of ice cream with his fucking hands, and that was like, yeah, this guy's not fucking.
Well, also think about it, right? So his breath is frosting, which means in his world it's cold.
Yes.
Which means his bucket of ice cream isn't melting. He thinks it's still ice cream, but in James's perspective, this motherfucker's sweating. He's every time you meet him, he's sweating. So when he's digging into the bucket, it's fucking melted. But because in his Silent Hill everything is cold, it probably isn't. You know?
Oh, I see what you put
the connection together.
But yeah, looking at looking at it in Jane's perspective, yeah, he looks like a fucking crazy person.
He does look like he's just going.
Yeah.
But in his version, it may not. Be
yeah, you're right. But like he's a hey, like he's not there.
He's not there. Yeah, he's like checked out.
Yeah.
Which is very much in line with like the original, but this one is like he's been fucking lobotomized almost. You know.
Yeah.
It's not until you meet him in his quote unquote his world, which is like the meat locker, where he's like just in control. You know what I mean? But we'll get to that.
Well, I think that's.
Well, what do you mean? What?
I thought we were just gonna do the.
Oh, you came a little, yeah. So that's the end for the
Yeah.
apartment. You fight Pyramid Head, whatever, and that's how it is for the rest of the game. So let's get into what are your takeaways from the game? You know, because we kind of gave people a sense of how the game plays and the puzzles and how they reinvented it and everything. I don't know, man. All this was really well fucking done.
We were just. I don't feel like it was like a review. You can say right after what I'm gonna say. This is my review for it. This Silent Hill was, to me, what a remake should be, right? Like I was telling you, that Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4 remake, in my opinion, they kind of played it safe.
Are you talking about Resident Evil 4 remake?
Yeah. As with, like, it's kind of beat by beat with the original, you know?
Okay.
With the little things here and there. So I feel like they kind of played it safe because that's what the fans wanted, right? Mm-hmm. They wanted everything from the original to this one.
Yeah.
As where this Silent Hill, feels like more to a,
Like a
Resident Evil 1 remake.
like a remake, but reinvention is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Resident Evil 1 remake. It's kind of the same thing, but at the same time, they kind of switched it on you.
They overhauled it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what they did with Silent Hill 2 remake here. Which I enjoy. Like
That's actually a good way to put it, I think. Yeah.
They took the chance to change it, like things here and there that were major in the original,
Yeah. Yeah.
which worked out in their favor, I think.
Mhm.
I feel like the stories are more grounded, more taken seriously,
Yeah.
as the original was a more...
I mean, it took itself seriously, but then you got moments like, "Are you going out there by yourself?" Yeah, he does that fucking voice. But people love that shit too.
It's not.
You know,
It's not the cut. I'm talking about, like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Like, it felt everything about the original second one. It's not a bad thing. I think it was like a second thought to them. They want. I think their first impression of the original was like to scare you, the atmosphere, and so on and so forth. I feel like the story was like more in the back burner because it feels like more like I said, it feels disconnected with the story in a way for me.
Okay.
And has where the remake, it feels like more, it follows a straight path with the story. It's not so disjointed and so like confusing. It feels like more like it's, how do you say, you can understand it better. This one, as in the other one's like, it's how do you say, it's a plot. It's an indication that he might killed someone or da 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 da. And this one is kind of that, but at the same time you get it, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. I feel what you're trying to say is Silent Hill 2 remake. Just it feels a lot more like you said, grounded, more of a realistic take on these characters. It doesn't have, I think, what's his name, David Lynch. A lot of people pull from that when they're talking about Silent Hill 2 original and the characters and how the delivery and stuff like that, and how idiosyncratic, I think that's the word that Pat used when he was talking about it, which is like you can just tell these people are on the brink of like losing their shit in the original, the way they delivered lines and stuff like that. In the remake,
Seriously?
yeah, oh my god, Josh, really? I'm breaking it down right now, dude. Shit. But in the remake, you're right. It feels a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic. You said it. It's like this is Resident Evil 1 remake for Silent Hill 2. Resident Evil 1 original was good, but you can tell that it was like you said, almost like a afterthought, almost. You know, I'm not trying to discredit Team Silent.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that what they did was also an afterthought, but it feels like this one they added way more layers into it.
Yes,
And some of it may work for some people, some of it won't. I think you even said that you enjoyed the line deliveries of the original Mary for the letter and the ending. I agree too. I think even Maria, when you meet her in the labyrinth, I thought the original was kind of better. But it's different. It doesn't mean it's worse. It's just different. The deliveries of it.
Like, I forgot what part I was telling you that. See, this is the first game I fucking go into deeply and fucking think about things. I think it was right after the hospital. And you read these notes like, okay, like go to the fucking like this area and you'll find what you need to find basically.
Yeah.
You go and it's the phone booth, the phone call.
Oh yeah.
And that whole section I'm talking about. I feel like it's Silent Hill telling you like you don't get it still, like
you're going through the same shit again type of yeah.
Like I didn't know that neither, because see, that's what I'm saying. The original, you got to explore. You have to explore to get the messages in the original. I mean, in the remake. As in the remake, in that section, like I said, after you follow these things, and it's keep telling you like, you moron, you fell for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that the messaging was more clear for you in the remake than the original.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
like I really liked it because it's again, it's straight. It's what's the word? Linear,
Yeah.
but in the good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's telling you, okay, go here, and whatever.
The remake you're talking about, or the original?
The remake.
Okay.
Because like I said, when I went back to the diner with the jukebox, and it has that message, it says, if you want to see Mary, fucking kill yourself.
Basically.
Yeah. It's like, that was like, to me, that was new to me. Well, like you say, it's in the original, but like,
Yeah. But it's the thing. So what you're trying to say is that you wouldn't know that was there because it's kind of, you wouldn't think to revisit Neely's bar in the original.
Yeah.
Which is where the message is. But in the remake, the game guides you back to Neely's
Yes.
bar so that you can see the messages. Is what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
no, I agree. I agree.
This one, the story is in the forefront.
Whereas in the original, you're saying it
it's
was more.
more, yeah.
Let me rephrase. I wouldn't say an afterthought, but it was much more obscure to find the messaging of the original, which was appealing for me and appealing for the whole community. That's why you see all these fucking in-depth analysis videos and shit. But yeah, I think that was a big concern with Silent Hill 2 Remake with Bloober Team, was the way that how they're going to tell the story and make it subtle. How are they going to make for OG fans also be like, oh shit, that's really cool what they did there. And they did such a good fucking job at that. Like, that's what really impressed me, was those subtle moments that were in the original are here too, but then there's new subtle moments, like Eddie's breath frosting. That's such a cool fucking detail. Or how James, when you're fighting, I told you this too, you didn't notice it, but like when you're fighting Eddie, that's the only time where your aiming is
Steady.
unsteady.
Unsteady, sorry, yeah.
And that's because he's killing a human being for quote unquote the first time. That's a nice touch.
See, little touches like that
Yeah.
goes a long way,
And
which
then-
makes it more appreciate the game. See, like you were saying about the messages. Let me just go there. It's kind of like, again, with the Resident Evil, the first one and the remake. They kept Itchy...
the brain, itchy, scratchy. God,
Whatever.
the fuck, itchy, scratchy. That's fucking Simpson. No, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, itchy, tasty. that's
Itchy,
what it-
tasty. There it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, that section is like the town getting mad at James.
Yeah.
And it's more implied here as within the original. Like I said, it tells you in the notes, like, or in the messaging, like, if you want to fucking see Mary or Maria, Mary, kill yourself.
Well, so
And stuff like that. Like,
so that message is I think you said, yeah, you should die. It says, but just know you won't be going to the same place as Mary.
Yeah, see, yeah.
And what I like about it is it's not telling him to kill himself. All it's saying is to die. But then it obviously implies that the way that James would die is if he killed himself, because the following message is you wouldn't be going to the same place that she's going. And I was like, God damn, dude, shit. But no, you're right. That the subtlety, they nailed it. They really fucking got that point. For the most part, I think there's probably some things that some people won't agree with how they did certain things and blah blah. But like, for example, the Abstract Daddy with Angela.
Yeah.
Like the television crackling and you hear Angela's father talking. That was never in the original. That's a nice fucking touch. Or the fact that you are going into the hiding spots that she would hide from her father. That's a nice fucking detail. It's the little things like that. Which...
Again, in the original, that's implied. That's her hell. That's her version of Silent Hill. In this one, you get to experience it.
Yeah.
Which is great. Which is, again, another cool fucking addition to the story and to the remake.
No, I agree. It's like in the original, the abstract daddy is that whole boss fight's in a room, and there's these like flashy like pistons coming into the wall and shit, which implies the fact that she was SA'd by her dad. In the remake, you see how those pistons are working. It's stuff like that that's like, oh shit, they're really being like overly indulgent with this shit, which can sometimes, I think, for some people, like, oh, I didn't like how they were doing that. I like it when it was more, pulled back, whatever. But you brought up the town being angry at James when you leave the Brookhaven Hospital. And I think this, if you're okay with it, I think this is a good time to bring up why we think that is. With the loop theory, unless you have any final thoughts.
Final thoughts still is like, I told you after I finished the game, and these games held that spot for the longest time. I think Silent Hill 2 has become my favorite remake out of Resident Evil 2 and 4. Just because of that whole prison scene, that's new. They added new. They added.
We didn't even talk about. Right.
I want people to experience that because that's a whole like scary section of its own.
Oh man, terrifying fucking section.
That's what I was saying. They took the gamble to like change things, add things.
Big gamble, dude.
A lot of things.
Big fucking gamble. Yep.
Everything that we just talked about, they took that gamble. Okay, and I like that about it. Like again, I was expecting, again, beat by beat of the original.
Sort of like Dead Space remake.
Yeah. Where these remakes played it safe, even though they kind of added new things, but not as not
as major
as in Silent Hill 2.
Which, coming from Bloober Team, and what people know about Bloober Team before Silent Hill 2, makes it so much more impressive that they were willing to like, no, we're not going to play it safe.
Yeah.
We're actually going to show you that we know our shit. We know Silent Hill 2, and they proved me the fuck wrong, as they did everyone else. And I think that's what makes it so impressive, and why you probably think it's one of your favorite remakes, is because it came from a developer who was a fucking underdog, and they over-delivered.
Look, I don't know if you noticed that too in that same section where the town is pissed off. The roads is also like decaying, right? Like it's kind of like it has that steel. Fucking, you know what I'm talking about?
Like from Silent Hill 1. Yeah.
Those little details like that, and I think you're followed by that fucking thing too in the town. That monster with the fucking
the Mandarin.
Yeah. I think you're being chased by him too. Stuff like that. The cool thing about it, they don't throw the siren, and that's how the town turns.
Yeah, like I said, right?
It's so subtle.
It's subtle. Yep.
Like again, when you're leaving the hospital and you see the like decaying and all that, so it's so subtle. It's like, wait, am I in the other side of That's what I'm saying.
For example, I was telling you this too. When you enter the hotel, the final level of the game,
dude, I was blown away. Go ahead.
So you go into the hotel, and you're exploring it, and as you keep exploring it, you notice that it starts to decay. Also, it's such a subtle thing.
I noticed that. I was
telling Edgar that like, for every for every level that you go to, the hospital, the apartment, you notice the transition from the other world.
Yes.
In the hotel, I don't know if people picked up on it.
Which hotel? The ending hotel?
Yeah, there's no other hotel.
Oh, sorry.
There's an apartment in a hotel.
Sorry.
But I don't know if people picked up on it, but when you go to the hotel, you're visiting the other world of the hotel. Whereas the apartments is the normal apartments, and then it turns to shit. And I don't think people realize that the hotel had burned down fucking years ago. So when you visit it, it looks all pristine and looks nice. That's the Silent Hill version of the hotel. And then once you find out the truth, it reverts to its normal state, which is decayed. It is burned down, and that's the only time that game does it.
See?
Or I was telling Edgar this too, and I don't think he noticed it until I brought it up to him. But once you find out the truth, once you play the tape, and you go to the final save point, up to this point, every time you save, James is looking directly at the player. But after he learns the truth and you save, he can't look at you. His eyes are like to the side. And that's such a good way to show that James finally learned the truth, but he still can't fucking let go of the fact that he killed his own wife. Which, big spoilers.
Again, I'm just telling you little details like that. Like, again, you were there when I told you, like, when he meets Angela towards the end again. And he says it's so fucking hot.
It's so fucking hot.
Yeah, it's so fucking hot in here. Like,
no, this is what he says.
Is this like football?
No, that's not what he says. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he just he says it's really hot in here.
Yeah,
it's hot as hell.
It's hot as hell in here. Yeah.
And she says that's how I always look at it. This
is how it is for me
all the time. And that to me is like he doesn't see it, but he feels it.
I think that's the only. Angela and James are the only characters where they can feel each other's version of Silent Hill, which I found kind of nice.
So that means, her version, she's always on fire. But James don't see it, but he can feel it.
He can feel it.
And that's, like, again, that's
which goes back to, there's a note in the hospital. I don't know if you read it. It's in the original also, but they directly reference Silent Hill, like the other world version of Silent Hill in the hospital in one of the notes. Where you pick up, and it's one of the doctors talking about one of the patients and how they imply that, he's always talking about this other reality, this other version that we can't see, but they can.
No, yeah.
Right? And he's like, he's happy there. His version of Silent Hill is not as demented as like the real world. In his world, he's much more happier. And it's like, oh shit, they talk about the other world of Silent Hill, which is really cool. Just another way of how they nailed the subtlety, and I told you this too. I didn't notice this until I saw Pat play it, which is one of the flyers in the hospital talking about depression. And it tells you, like, if you have feelings of anxiety or loneliness and guilt and depression and blah, 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 and when you click triangle to read it, because obviously you can examine it, and then you press triangle to read the text. James omits the word guilt.
Yeah, I see.
And when I read it, I was like, oh fuck, he can't. That's not in his fucking vocabulary. Yeah, that's how fucking far gone he is about him killing his wife. Is that he reads a fucking flyer and he omits the word guilt. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant, dude.
That's what I'm telling you.
That's fucking brilliant.
That's why I appreciate this game more, because little details like that, it makes you read them. It makes them, like you said, it kind of messes with your head.
It does. And it, like I said, it does it on repeat playthroughs too, which is what the original did. But to bring this, because we didn't talk about it yet, the loop theory.
Go ahead. Yes, sorry.
To bring this kind of whole thing about them nailing it down and the subtlety and like they know their shit. You brought up how Silent Hill is angry at James once he exits the hospital, and that's true. How hostile it is. And I was thinking when I was playing through it, I was like, damn, in the original they weren't this fucking harsh on James. Like in this one, they're fucking going ham on him. Like they're throwing all these enemies and all this shit. And then that's when I realized, it's probably because he's been going through this shit for a while now. So going back on the beginning of the review, where you visit the location where you first meet the line figure, and how it's a memory now. It's no longer the actual place where you find him. I'm going to bring it up again because this is the word I've been using. The implication of this being that this isn't James' first trip to Silent Hill. This could...
Seriously?
Oh my god. Josh, really? Are you like... We're not even... Okay.
This is his first...
this is not his first
yeah.
rodeo, as it were. So this is a theory that fans been having for a long time, which is the loop theory, which is that James continues to go to Silent Hill 2, and that's kind of like his hell. He keeps reliving the same shit over and over and over again. And Bloober Team did such a great job at implying that that's the case, that it is a loop theory. And the way that they did that are by with these memories, quote unquote, like the puzzle box that's broken, and or the box from the hospital where it once was is no longer there.
Yep.
Or the fact that there's a note that you pick up in the first apartment, not the Brook side apartments, whatever they call it, of a note that that's like scribbled out. And it's like, oh, I saw him again, and then she made me calm down, and blah, blah, blah. The implication being that James has gone through this, and Maria has to bring him back to the present, stuff like that. And once I told you that, you started noticing her, right? You started picking up on the small details.
These
like,
small details
shit,
like that.
He might actually be in a fucking loop. And this was all but confirmed earlier this week, I think, when I told you there's these photos that you pick up in the game, and I was like, what the fuck are these photos for? No one could figure it out. It was a photo with like a caption, and on the back there's a number, and people were like, what the fuck does this mean? Someone cracked it, and when you solve it, it spells out you've been here for 2 decades, which I think for me confirms that Silent Hill is telling James, you've been doing this shit for 20 years now.
Yeah.
So not only is this a Silent Hill 2 remake, this is a sequel to Silent Hill 2.
The way you said it like that, and when you first told me, it's like, at first, like, fuck off, dude. This is a like a ridiculous theory. But
I thought so too.
Well, but when I continue playing the game, it was like, okay, this is making sense now, right?
Or no, go ahead.
Like even the dead bodies that you find scattered around the town, it looks just like James without even showing his face. So
which would mean
that he's like,
there's all these bodies have been all the time that he's been going through Silent Hill.
Yeah. Like another one was when Eddie is shooting at the dead body, and he walks into the meat locker. You get a chance to look at the bodies, and they all look like James.
They all look like James.
The model, at least,
Yeah,
with the jacket, the hair,
everything.
And I was like, and I was telling you don't think that's James, or like.
And I was like, it is.
Yeah.
Or the fact that when you leave Brookhaven Hospital, before you go through that chase with Pyramid Head, Maria's hesitant to go with you. And James is like, "Are you all right?" And she's like, I have a fucking very like I'm fucking scared. I don't want to go. Almost as if she's been through that shit too. So it's little things like that, or when you visit Pete's Bolorama, which is where you originally met Eddie. James tells Maria like, "Oh, you can just wait outside. I'll just check." And it's like, why? Maria's like, you don't want me anymore? Or like, why would you say that? And James like, oh, it's just, I don't know, it's just like a stray thought, I guess. Almost like he remembers sort of that was what originally occurred. Once I heard about the loop theory and how they kind of executed it, I was like, all right, they did a fucking great job. Did a great fucking job.
And it's one of those theories that I enjoy. It makes sense, which it works. There's there's dumb fucking there's theories about each game, right? Like Resident Evil, Dead Space, and right? Those theories never made sense to me. They were just whatever. This one to me, again, feels real. Like, okay, this can really happen because, like you said, the memories. The dead bodies scattered all over Silent Hill.
But it's not even only that.
Stuff like that.
Like, okay, last year, and I'll admit I was not aged well. I was playing through Alan Wake 2, and I told you that, like, if Silent Hill 2 comes out I'm sorry. Like, they have to beat Alan Wake 2 because Alan Wake 2 is fantastic. They have this whole thing about how Alan keeps going through a loop. It's not a lake, it's an ocean, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a spiral or whatever, and this and that. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. I don't know how Silent Hill 2 can top that. And here we are talking about the loop theory and how fucking, like, awesome that is, dude. Like, that's such a good... Talk about... Okay, so hold on. I know I'm going to be, like, all over the place, right? But, like, everyone had no trust with Bloober. With the game.
All you guys except for me.
Yeah, whatever. Okay? And how fucking genius is it for Bloober to be like, okay, the original is untouched. Our version is just a different trip that James took to Silent Hill. This is our version of Silent Hill.
See? That's cool.
And how cool is it that, like, they justified it by saying, like, it's a loop. So the original still stays intact and everything that you did still is validated.
Oh, yeah.
Ours is just a more, like, updated version.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that for them to be like, it's a remake and this is how it's a remake. Whereas Resident Evil 1 Remake, it's a remake in the sense of, like, we updated the gameplay, we updated the fucking graphics. Silent Hill 2 is a remake in that it's James is going through the same shit again. That's really fucking cool. So, God, I feel like we've been talking about this shit for a lot, but if that isn't a fucking, like, we didn't convince you to go play it, then
I was
don't
exposed to a lot of
my
dicks, you know.
Yeah, Josh, dude, I know that you're probably going through your own Silent Hill right now. Okay, right? He keeps bringing up these same 3 quotes. He might be talking to us from the fucking afterlife. I don't know if
Is this like football?
Oh my God, dude, I don't-
Is he losing it? Is
I
he
don't
okay?
fucking know, man. Josh, are you all right? I mean, everything okay?
Seriously?
Okay, whatever. But yeah, look, we spoiled the shit out of this game.
Kinda.
Kind of. We kept some of the best parts
Yeah.
from. There's even some shit that I haven't even told you about.
I know. But I'll say this right now. And I say it again. I said it to you before.
You're gonna predict it?
Yeah.
You're gonna make your official prediction.
Another
again?
prediction here.
All right.
Okay. I told you Blooper or whatever is going to do great, and I was right. Okay. I feel like
now what?
I feel this is going to be Game of the Year. It's going to win Game of the Year for sure.
That's your prediction. Huh?
Yeah, and it's going to take all these awards. It's going to take for soundtrack and music, maybe voice acting in there,
Narrative design too.
all that.
I don't know, Eder. I'm not
But
gonna fucking
for
shoot
sure. But for sure, I think is going to win Game of the Year.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna shoot myself. In
Not
the
for
foot, but-
not for the big one, the VGA with the fucking weird ass JF Keeley or whatever. I'm talking about other.
Did you say JF Keeley?
JF Keeley? Talking about like other like
And the
websites.
VGAs, Josh.
Is this like football?
No, the VGAs is a video game award show, Josh. Okay, it's nothing to do with sports. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
But it's gonna win a lot of Game of the Year,
We'll see. We'll see.
and it's my favorite game.
Of the year.
That too, and favorite remake.
It's my game of the year also, which I never thought I'd fucking say, but it is.
Oh, now you're saying that?
Yeah, I am saying it. Okay, and I own it. All right.
I thought it was Final Fantasy.
That one is third.
Gee.
Astrobot is number 2.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I just want to put it like when I played Astrobot, like the final level,
Uh-huh.
it was like an Avengers Endgame type of level.
That's fucking cool.
Because do you want me to tell you what? Or
Why?
okay, so like the whole game, you're repairing the PlayStation 5 and shit like that,
Mhm.
and then you go off to fight the final boss. And all these like portals open up, and it's like the PlayStation 1, and then the PlayStation 2, and then the PlayStation 3, and then the PSP, and they all fight alongside you to fight the final boss. And when you drop down to fight it, the fucking original like the fucking sound from the PlayStation 1, like the startup sound.
Oh,
I was like, this is fucking amazing, dude. If Silent Hill 2 didn't come out this year, that would be my game of the year. No fucking question. Play Astrobot. Play that. And then play Silent Hill 2. Play them back to back because you're going to need a fucking breather before.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously, Josh. Jesus. But anyways, thank you guys for listening to our
I
in-depth.
feel like we could have been here even longer. Dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot we got to say, you know.
So in the future we might be talking more about this. We might have another guest to join who might have some things to say about it. So this won't be the end of our discussion.
Yeah, that's a great way to.
There might be a part 2 to our discussion, but we'll just leave it at that. But thank you guys for listening. Like we said at the top of the show, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, follow us at It's Called Two Bros and Instagram and the TikTok. Thank you guys for everything that you do, which is just watching our fucking podcast, listening.
Yeah.
And we hope you appreciate our review of Silent Hill 2 Remake. We don't do as many reviews anymore, but this one we had to because I know Edgar had to fucking air out his grievances with me about this game.
It's not only that. I feel like this game was talked about since the first trailer, you know?
Yeah.
And all these doubts and saying it's not going to turn out well, and look at it now.
It's worth it, dude.
Yeah.
If you haven't played it, play it. If you can get your hands on the original, I know it's far-fetched, but also do it. Or at least watch someone play it. But thank you guys. This has been Two Brothers. And thank you, Josh. Is there any last words you want to say before we head off, Josh?
I was exposed to a lot of dicks, you know.
Jesus.